Okay, let's unpack this. We're plunging into the 74th Hunger Games, but looking at it from a totally different angle, really focusing squarely on Peeta Mellark.
Exactly. Like his motivations, his strategies, stuff you might miss if you're only seeing it through Katniss's eyes.
Right, and we're drawing mainly from a deep dive analysis of the book canon, pulling out those key moments that kind of hint at Peeta's hidden game plan.
That's the core source. Yeah.
So our mission here is really a shortcut, to figure out what Peeta actually wanted going into that arena.
How he worked to get it, how he navigated everything, the capital, the careers.
And Katniss herself, obviously. It's about seeing Peeta as more than just the star-crossed lover. There were layers, real strategic depth.
Absolutely. And, one of the first things this analysis hits on is Peeta's core objectives. And they're surprising.
How so?
Because his main goal, believe it or not, wasn't winning. It wasn't even personal survival.
Wait, hold on. In the Hunger Game, his main goal wasn't to survive. That feels completely upside down.
It does, right. But that's what the text suggests when you dig deep. His #1 goal, help Katniss win.
Okay.
And #2, just as vital for him, was staying true to himself, refusing to become, a monster for the Capitol show.
Wow. Okay, that really reframes him from the start. It highlights what the analysis calls his innate empathy, his kindness.
Yeah, that generosity, and it pushes back hard against any idea that he's weak or just a pushover. He's got this incredible inner resolve.
And you see the conflict, the friction from this hidden agenda pop up almost right away, don't you? That whole scene on the rooftop after the interview.
Oof, yeah, that physical fight.
It's so visceral. Katniss is just furious, right?
Yeah.
Charges him, shoves him into that urn.
Which shatters everywhere, yeah. And he cuts his hands badly.
And he's genuinely shocked, asking her, what was that for? Haymitch is mad at her, too.
Right. And even then, while he's literally pulling ceramic shards out of his hands, he admits the interview bombshell was his idea.
It's such a painful, perfect snapshot of how much was simmering under the surface for him. Stuff Katniss had zero clue about at that point.
Which leads us straight into the love bomb strategy, as the analysis labels it.
Right. This wasn't just some random confession on TV.
Not at all. Peeta came up with it. He went to Haymitch after Katniss blew everyone away with that 11 in training.
The 11. So that score must have been like, okay, confirmation, she can do this.
Exactly. It seems to have solidified his belief that she had a real shot, making his plan to help her feel, I guess, more achievable.
Makes sense.
And the analysis points to a few things driving this specific, very public strategy. There's the obvious crush, right, since they were kids.
The age 5 thing.
And that feeling apparently deepened while they were in the Capitol, especially with Haymitch telling them to stick together, act like friends.
Plus, he genuinely rated her skills, didn't he? The archery, the survival instincts.
Totally. The 11 just confirmed it. Even his mom, his notoriously difficult mom, apparently thought Katniss could win. And crucially, Peeta was convinced he wouldn't.
And didn't want to. Right.
More importantly, didn't want to win if it meant doing, things he couldn't live with. Becoming someone he hated.
So his emotional intelligence kicks in here.
That's what the analysis argues, yeah. He just got that presenting Katniss as this object of his long unrequited love would hook the Capitol audience big time.
And Haymitch, even through all his booze and cynicism, saw it immediately. The analysis really emphasizes that scene. Haymitch grabbing Katniss's shoulders.
Pinning her almost, telling her flat out, that boy just gave you something you could never achieve on your own. He made you look desirable.
Yeah, they all do. They're talking about the star-crossed lovers from District 12. He knew the game.
He knew the audience. Both he and Peeta understood how obsessed the Capitol was with narrative, with romance. So let's look at Peeta's actual interview performance, beat by beat.
He doesn't just blurt it out. He warms them up first, makes them laugh.
Plays up the whole baker's son thing, and that great line about the Capitol showers.
Oh, yeah. Do I still smell like roses?
And Caesar Flickerman plays along to sniffing. The analysis says it brings down the house.
But there's a purpose to starting light like that.
Yeah, the analysis suggests he's building rapport, making the audience like him, trust him. So when he talks about Katniss's desirability, they believe him. The shower line might even be a subtle nod to the Capitol's own luxury.
And the mention of roses. The analysis flags that as a breadcrumb. Only the second time roses are mentioned.
Right, linking forward maybe to snow, that whole dominance through scent idea. It's subtle, but it's there.
Okay, so he's charmed them. Then Caesar tees it up, the girlfriend question.
Peeta hesitates, denies it, but not convincingly. Caesar pushes, there must be some special girl. What's her name?
And boom, the confession. The sigh, the crush, since forever, thinking she never knew he existed.
And the audience laps it up, right? That whole unrequited love thing is relatable even for them.
The analysis also points out his phrasing, saying, A lot of boys like her.
Yeah, that's key. It frames her appeal as, like, objective fact, not just his opinion.
Then, the killer moment. Caesar says winning might help him get the girl.
And Peeta just shuts that down. I don't think it's going to work out. Winning won't help in my case. That slight stammer, the blush.
Because she came here with me. Just, wow.
It's incredibly powerful. And the analysis stresses, look, this is strategy, yes, but the core feeling is real. That's why the blush, the stammer, it all feels authentic. It lands.
And you just have to appreciate the sheer guts that took, telling your lifelong crush how you feel on basically mandatory global television while heading into a death match.
It's immense pressure. And the whole strategy hinges on that authenticity. It works because it's true, which in turn makes Katniss's reaction absolutely vital.
Her genuine shock sells it even harder.
Exactly. The analysis mentions seeing her reaction on the monitor as mouth open, just stunned. And in the book, remember, she's actually still on stage watching this, not backstage like the movie. Everyone sees her react in real time.
And the crowd eats it up, the murmurs, the agonized cries.
Yeah.
They're totally invested now.
Yep.
Hooked on the tragic love story. The cameras focus on them both, separated but linked. Poor tragic us, as the analysis puts it.
So where did Peeta miscalculate, according to the analysis?
Her reaction afterward, on the rooftop, he seems genuinely blindsided by her physical aggression. Maybe, as the analysis suggests, his own rosy perception from the crush made him expect, well, not that.
Yeah, and you absolutely have to give Katniss some room there. I mean, she's rightfully furious about being kept in the dark.
Yeah.
About him defining her that way publicly without her consent.
Totally. And she's literally hours away from fighting for her life. The stress is unimaginable. Her reaction, while extreme, is understandable.
And Peeta's also rightfully upset about being attacked. It's just a horrible, high-pressure mess.
It is. And the analysis brings up Katniss's earlier behavior too, remember? Trying to push him away emotionally during training.
Right, telling him not to pretend when they were alone. Thinking a kind Peeta was more dangerous because he could work his way inside her. She couldn't afford that vulnerability. So when she does finally grasp the strategic gift he's given her with the interview, she feels awful, apologetic.
But he's brushed. Doesn't matter.
And the analysis connects that just heartbreakingly to his own upbringing. His mom was physically violent. He's maybe tragically used to minimizing his own pain. Those hand injuries were serious, needed treatment. He went into the arena bandaged.
Oof. And then there's that moment after the attack. Peeta thinks she's upset because of Gale, right? Her boyfriend back home.
Yeah, he sounds pretty annoyed about it. Like, I just did this huge thing for you and you attacked me because you're worried about some guy.
And this is fascinating, the analysis points out. He then tells Katniss his whole love declaration was just a bluff.
Yeah, why would he do that?
Well, the thinking is, he doesn't want her to know the full depth of it right then. He needs her to see him purely as an ally, someone playing the game to help them both get sponsors, improve their odds.
So he downplays the personal stake for strategic reasons, even though it was personal.
Exactly. Katniss slowly gets that he helped her, but she still feels used, which, as the analysis says, is fair enough.
Okay, so the love bomb is out there, doing its work, getting sponsors. What's the next phase of Peeta's strategy inside the actual arena?
This leads to the second major part of his plan, according to the analysis.
Yeah.
Joining the career pack.
Right, which sounds completely counterintuitive for a District 12 tribute.
But his objective was incredibly risky and complex. Use the careers to protect Katniss, at least initially, steer them away from her.
And then turn on them when they eventually cornered her.
Yeah. And the analysis notes Katniss really only figures this part out after the games, watching the highlights. That's when she says, now I see what the audience saw, how he misled the careers about me.
It makes you want to rewatch those early scenes immediately. Does the analysis think this was Peeta's idea or maybe Haymitch's?
It suggests Haymitch might have proposed it. Peeta might not have even thought it was possible for a D12 kid to get in with the careers.
Makes sense. And getting in wasn't a given, right? He had to seem useful, but not too useful. Not a threat.
His training score of 8 probably helped there. Good, but not top tier. Made him look like a potential asset, maybe strong, but not someone aiming for the win themselves.
And the analysis brings in catching fire context here too, that career packs are usually formed before the games start.
Right, so Peeta barely squeezed in. It likely came down to mentor negotiation. The analysis suggests maybe Finnick from District 4 and Haymitch had enough of a connect.
Even if Haymitch wasn't close with, say, the D1 or D2 mentors.
It must have been a tricky pitch, though, selling Peeta to the careers after he just declared undying love for Katniss.
Definitely. The analysis suggests the careers were led to believe Peeta faked the whole love story just for sponsors, for his own gain, an idea likely pushed by their mentors and maybe even subtly reinforced by Peeta himself.
Plus, Haymitch could have talked up Peeta's strength, his supposed knife skills hinted at by the score.
Oh.
Making him seem like useful muscle.
So how did he actually mislead them once they were in the arena?
mostly by managing information and directing their movement. He kept crucial intel back like Katniss's 11 score, the full extent of her abilities.
So the careers underestimated her, thought she was maybe a bit dim, taken in by the romance angle.
Pretty much. And they thought Peeta could be used as bait to lure her out.
And he physically led them away from her.
Yeah, the analysis highlights how he steered them towards hunting other tributes, away from where he suspected Katniss might be hiding.
There's even that theory mentioned, right? About the first night.
That maybe he actually saw Katniss in the tree when they attacked that other girl, and when the cannon didn't fire, he offered to go back and finish her off.
Effectively persuading the careers to just move on, potentially saving Katniss right then. It's not confirmed, but it fits the pattern.
And it all leads up to the Tracker-Jacker tree confrontation.
That's the climax of this phase. They finally find her, they try climbing, shooting, they fail. And Peeta convinces them to just wait her out till morning.
Buying her vital time.
And he stays up all night, acting as a guard, maybe to make sure none of them tried anything sneaky.
So this is where his plan has to pay off. Katniss drops the nest.
And he executes the turn, fights Clove, screams at Katniss to run even while she's disoriented from the venom.
And he shoves her away from the danger just like she shoved him on the roof. That parallel.
It's powerful. And it costs him dearly. That leg wound from Clove, nearly fatal.
The analysis is stark.
Yeah.
He was a goner. If not for that sudden rule change allowing 2 victors.
Yeah, and the analysis even flags the rule change itself as something worth its own deep dive, given the implication.
It also mentions him whispering her name later when he's hidden in the mud. Delirious.
Right, and it's careful to point out that wasn't strategy, that was just him. Likely feverish, maybe dreaming of her, purely genuine.
Okay, now let's shift gears slightly and bring in some context from Sunrise on the Reaping. And just a heads up, if you haven't read the prequel yet and want to stay completely spoiler-free about Haymitch's backstory, you might want to skip ahead a little bit here. Right, so this new information really adds another dimension to why Haymitch might have gone along with, or even helped shape, Peeta's risky plan.
It deepens his motivations, basically.
Yeah.
We learn about his history with Katniss's family, best friends with her dad, knew her mom.
Mentoring Katniss wasn't just a job for him. It was deeply personal, painful.
Yeah, the analysis points out she reminded him of Luella, this sweetheart figure from his own games, someone he felt responsible for, like a little sister.
And the Mockingjay pin, belonging to his ally Maisie Donner, made by the uncle of Lenore Dove, his one true love. The layers of personal connection are just immense.
And think about the parallels to his own experience. The analysis notes Haymitch also went into his games not expecting to survive, planning to sacrifice himself for others for a greater good.
So when Peeta comes to him,
a 16-year-old boy, the same age Haymitch was,
wanting to save the girl he loves, the girl he wants to marry.
It's an almost direct echo of Haymitch wanting to save Lenore. It must have hit him incredibly hard.
So his reaction, it wasn't just strategic alignment. It was personal resonance.
The analysis frames it as, yes, heart-wrenching because of the echoes of his own trauma, but also extremely motivating. Maybe even a relief in a strange way.
How so a relief?
Well, Peeta basically gave him permission, or rather a directive, to focus everything on saving Katniss. It aligned with Haymitch's own deep-seated desires and maybe eased any guilt he might have felt about favoring her over Peeta. It gave him a clear, driving mission rooted in his past.
Man, it really makes you wish for a Haymitch POV epilogue somewhere, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, what the analysis really illuminates is just how complex Peeta's game was in the 74th. This wasn't just reacting, it wasn't just love, it was a calculated plan.
Deeply strategic, emotionally intelligent, rooted in who he was and what he valued, but definitely a plan. Executed under the most insane pressure imaginable.
It completely shifts how you read that first book, doesn't it? Seeing his actions not just through Katniss's confused perspective, but as deliberate moves in a high-stakes game she didn't even know he was playing.
Absolutely. That kind Baker's boy persona hit a really sharp mind and an iron will.
And it leaves you thinking, doesn't it? Like, how much of Peeta's plan relied on deception, deceiving the careers, obviously, but also initially deceiving Katniss about the depth of his feelings and his ultimate goal? How did his genuine feelings complicate that deception, or maybe even enable it?
Or flipping it around. How much did the Capitol's hunger for a good story, for a narrative, actually force Peeta's hand and shape the way the games played out? What does that tell us about perception versus reality in a place like Panem? It's a lot to chew on.